Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ. So we will continue our discussion on economy. We are in the module International Organizations. Okay, so we started off with WTO. In the first session we have talked about WTO. We started with GATT, General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. We have discussed various meetings of WTO, various rounds of GATT, and in the Uruguay round, that is in the 8th round, we have seen some changes from the previous rounds, right? Till first 7 rounds it was only trade related aspects which are discussed. It's all about reducing tariff barriers, etc. Okay, but in the 8th round, that is the Uruguay round, new issues have been picked up that, as we have seen, which are related to investment issues, intellectual property issues, agriculture related issues, environmental issues. All these were new, and there was no consensus between developed and developing countries. And finally it was culminated in Marrakesh Agreement, which was drafted by the then DG Arthur Dunkel. It is also known as Dunkel draft. Okay, so Marrakesh Agreement was signed, or rather it was forced to sign. They had only 2 choices for developing countries: either accept the proposals or you have to opt out of the organization. So finally they have signed this agreement, Marrakesh Agreement, and it is also known as Dunkel draft, or it is also known as Draft Final Act. And one of the important provision of that is the name and nature of the organization will change. So GATT became WTO, the name changed, nature also changed. It was only related to trade till then. Now it is related to trade, it is related to intellectual property, it is related to investment measures, agriculture issues have been discussed, and also environmental issues are also picking up, right? So this is what we have discussed, and we have talked about objectives of WTO, principles of WTO, we have talked about the structure of WTO, and we have talked about ministerial conferences. Okay, we have talked about General Assembly, which is a permanent body of WTO. We have also talked about Trade Policy Review Body and the function of that. We have also discussed about Dispute Settlement Board, and I've told you Dispute Settlement Board, in which you can sue any country if they are violating the WTO norms, and it have to give its decision within 18 months, and those decisions could be challenged in an appellate body, and the decision of the appellate body is actually final and binding on the WTO members. Then after that, in the second session, we have talked about, or in fact we started with WTO agreements. We have to discuss about a lot of agreements, and I have told you already I will take around 5-6 sessions for WTO alone, and discussing the agreements itself, it will take time and effort. So we started off with WTO agreements, and we started off with agreement on agriculture. So we discussed about agreement on agriculture. There we discussed about market access. So we have seen various components like tarification, TRQ, etc., and we have discussed that in detail. I'm not getting into that, I'm just going for a quick recap, that's it. Then we have discussed about market access. Then we have discussed about domestic support. Domestic support is nothing but subsidy. There we have discussed about aggregate measurement of support. That is nothing but the subsidy. It has to be de minimis, etc. That clause we have discussed. The condition we have discussed. The requirements and the criteria for developed and developing countries we have discussed. Then I've told you what are different types of subsidies. We talked about green box, we talked about amber box, we talked about blue box, and I've told you which one among those are trade distorting, which one is not non-trade distorting. So we have covered everything. So domestic support we have discussed. Then we have talked about export subsidies. Okay, so we have talked about export subsidies, and I've told you how much is the commitment for developing countries and how much is the commitment for developed countries. And finally we have discussed about patenting of plant varieties. So patenting of plant varieties. So this is where we actually stopped. So that means agreement on agriculture, these are the 4 which we have discussed: market access, domestic support, export subsidies, patenting of plant varieties. So these 4 are done. Now we need to discuss about trade related aspect of intellectual property rights. Very important, TRIPS. Okay, so trade related aspect of aspects of intellectual property rights. I'll tell you what are the different intellectual properties. The 7 intellectual properties we'll take up and we'll discuss in detail. So we start something, we complete it completely. Okay, so property rights, TRIPS. Okay, so this is our new session. Now before that, if you have missed out any of this that we have already discussed, you can get that here in this Telegram channel, or if you have any doubt, you can get in touch with me. This is my Instagram ID, or you can see here This is the Telegram channel. You can join here. You get all my videos over there. This is my Instagram ID. These two are my Facebook page. Okay. So if you need to learn economy or history, or for that matter any GS subject with me, you can get in touch with me for regular classes. My online classes are also available with StudyIQ. So we will start today with this session, trips. Okay. So I'll first write down what is this, and then we will explain in detail. Okay. So under this, member countries have to provide at least a minimum level of protection, at least a minimum level of protection to 7 category of intellectual properties. Okay, so the member countries, the members of WTO, have to provide at least a minimum level of protection. So I'll tell you what is TRIPS norms. This, even though you're talking about minimum level, it's so high. For example, I'll give you, when I talk about patents, I'll tell you what was Indian Patent Act till then and what is WTO norms. And we amended later in 2005. But before that, you will see the difference. Okay, so when I'm talking about at least a minimum level, that itself was actually so high compared to our system till then. So, and now we are following the TRIPS norms and we are in consonance with TRIPS agreements. Okay, so 7 categories. Now what are the 7 categories? So basically patents, these are like patents. Okay, then geographical indicators, we will discuss that in detail. Geographical indicators, copyright and related rights, trademarks. Okay, trademarks. Okay, trade secrets, we will discuss one by one, everything will cover. Trade secrets. Okay, industrial design, layout of an integrated circuit like transistors, capacitors, etc. Okay, the layout of integrated circuit. So we will discuss this layout of IC. So patents, geographical indicators, copyright, trademarks, trade secrets, industrial design, layout of circuits. Okay, so integrated circuits. So this is what the TRIPS all about. So now first one, patent. Okay, so we start with patent. So first one, patents. Okay, so what are patents? I'll write down first and then I'll explain. So these are legal rights provided to an inventor or developer of an intellectual property for its exclusive use. So these are the legal rights which are actually provided for the inventor of an intellectual property. If he invented something, if he developed something, so its exclusive use belongs to him. So these are the legal rights which are given to him. Now what he can do with this, he can sell this. Okay, it can be sold, it can be gifted, it can be rented. See, it's just like intellectual property. Why it is called as property? It's just like normal property. So what you can do with property, you can either gift it to someone, you can sell that if it is your property, you can give it for rent. See, exactly the same thing is what you can do with your invention. You can either sell it, okay, and you will get that money completely, or you can rent it, so you keep on getting that royalty or whatever it is, or you can gift it. Okay, so the same thing which you can do with a normal property, the same you can do with intellectual property also. So the legal right is given to you completely. Okay, so patents are granted for products and process. So let me write it here. Patents are granted for products and processes. See, product means a final product, processes means the process you follow to come to the final product. In India, it was only process patent before. Okay, that means you can follow different, you need to follow different process. Product patent was not there. Now, as per TRIPS agreement, we have to give both process as well as product patent. Okay, we'll come to that when I'm discussing about that. We'll discuss that. Indian Patent Act we'll discuss. Okay, so products and processes that are novel means new. Okay, which involve some innovative step, and have commercial applicability and commercially applicable and have commercial applicability. Okay, so patents are granted for products and processes. For both it is granted. It has to involve certain inventive step and it should have a commercial applicability. So now for your understanding, what I'll do is I'll compare the Indian Patent Act, okay, that is 1970. So Indian Patent Act 1970, and we will also see the TRIPS norms. So once you see this, you will understand the amendment easily. So what is the current situation? Current situation, we are following the TRIPS norms. So you will understand it, what are the changes which we have made and how and why it is done. You will understand it if we make a comparison here, the earlier situation. So life of patent. First, if you see life of patent, in India it was 7 to 14 years. Okay, so it was very less, but you know, TRIPS norms, as per TRIPS, it is at least 20 years. So minimum 20 years, the developer enjoy the benefit. Minimum 20 years. After that only, he may lose that benefit. But still he can do certain inventive step over that and still he can claim, you know, patent. Okay, we'll come to that. We'll discuss that, evergreening of patents and everything. So then honors of proof. Honors of proof in India, patentee, okay, TRIPS norms on infringer. See, now if you see here, what is the problem with this particular clause? See, it's like this. Here, infringer is the person who have to prove, right, that he did not violate it. For example, I did something, so somebody is claiming something over that particular product, so I have to prove it that it is not from the other person, right? So when somebody is filing right upon this product that I have developed, what will happen? There will be a stay on this. So I cannot do anything with that product for till the time this case has been solved, right? So it is from the side of infringer. You have to prove it. But in case of India, it is actually the patentee who have to prove. That means somebody is making a claim over this product, he have to prove it, okay, that this is similar to that product, something like that. So the here patentee, here infringer. So infringer means I am making a product, so somebody is claiming that he have already made that product, I became the infringer. So I hope it is clear. Or you are making a product, I am claiming that I have made it already. So it is just a claim. Okay, if I am making a claim, then and there itself you have to start proving that, you know, you have not done that. Otherwise you will actually get a stay and you can't do anything with that product for a long time. So that is actually not considered desirable, but we will see that is an international practice and we'll see how is it going to be done. So honors of proof with patentee in Indian Patent Act, but infringer as per the TRIPS norms. Then the most important here, only process patent. In India, only process patent, but TRIPS norms, process and product patent. Now see, do you think this product patent is desirable? Product patent is not desirable because see, I might be creating this product and I'm going for patent. I'm going to take patent for this. So I take the patent for this product as well as the process involved. So in India, only the process involved. That means somebody cannot follow the same process to make this. Okay, so that is desirable, but product patent is desirable. It is not desirable because there may be some other method which may be more efficient method, more better method, which can reduce the prices also to make the same product. So here what actually happening is when you are giving patent to a product, the innovation is actually discouraged. Okay, so then nobody is going to invent the same product in a most efficient or effective way. This already, if the product is existing, that might not be through an efficient way. There may be a better method in which you can make the same product. So when you're giving product patent, nobody can do that, right? So that is actually a problem. So I hope that is clear for all of you. Now there was an amendment in 2005 to comply with TRIPS norms, because when you are a member of WTO, you have to comply with TRIPS norms. So to comply with TRIPS norms, there was an amendment in 2005. Actually, there was an ordinance which was passed in December 2004. So December 2004, there was an ordinance, and then Act was in 2005. So what was that? Patent Amendment Act 2005. So what is a major change here? I've told you to comply with TRIPS norms. So obviously till then we were giving only process patent. Now we are giving product patent also. So product patent was introduced. Okay, so now everything else we are now in compliance with TRIPS norms. So I hope that is clear for all of you. That's about patents. Now we will move for geographical indicators. Geographical indicators. Okay, so GI, geographical indicators. So let me write down first and then I'll explain. These are place names, so that you can understand from this name itself, geographical indicators, okay, indicating that region. So these are place names which are associated with the products which have originated in that region. Okay, so some product originated in that region, which have originated in that region and have certain characteristics because of climate, topography, skills of people, etc. of that region. Okay, so geographical indicators means these are place names which are associated with the products which have originated in that region and have characteristics because of climate, topography, skills. Okay, if you see Kanchipuram silk, it is all based on the skills of the weavers, right? So now, is it granted to a person? No, it is not granted to a person. It is actually granted to association of persons, okay, or local bodies. So it is granted to association of person or producers or local bodies which represent interest of producers of that commodity. Okay, so local bodies which represent interest of the producers of that commodity. Now, how many of you know this champagne? Okay, for when you talk about examples of geographical indicators, champagne was one example, tequila, scotch. So how many of you know these were place names? These are actually place names. Most of the wines, okay, it's all related to place names, and initially only developed countries used to get those geographical indicators. So I've told you initially it is all based on the interest of developed countries. So they got these geographical indicators for all these things, and they don't have any other things apart from wines to get this kind of or geographical indicators. So when it comes to countries like India, there are a lot of things in which you can get geographical indicator status, but for them these are the options. So if you see initial geographical indicators, all are related to wine. So I hope most of you don't know that Champagne is actually a city, or tequila, scotch, these are city names. So it's all geographical indicators. Geographical indicators means what? These are the place names where it is originated. Okay, so I hope this was clear. So now around 250 items are there. I'm not interested in discussing those 250 items or more than 250 items. Every year few items are getting. So all those videos are available in StudyIQ when the new updates are coming, so that you can watch that. That's all part of current affairs. Okay, I'm not getting into all those things. So here I'm confining to the concepts. So then next we will go for copyrights and related rights. Okay, so third one, copyrights and related rights. So when you talk about related rights, neighborhood rights. Okay, so under this rights of authors, artists, okay, musical compositions, paintings. So which all things will come here, you need to know clearly which among the following is part of copyrights or will come under copyrights. Authors, artists, musical compositions, paintings, sculptures, computer program, okay, so computer program and films are protected. So why I'm writing here is like this is because you should be knowing it clearly that these are the items, right? Authors, artists, musical compositions, paintings, sculptures, computer programs, films, all these are actually protected. Now these are regulated by which convention? Berne Convention, okay? So regulated by Berne Convention. Berne in Germany, okay, by developed countries only, obviously. So now here, what is the term of protection? Term of protection is 50 years. So 50 years is the term of protection. Now here, what is protected? It is actually not the content itself. It is actually the expression of the content. Expression of the content means the language which is used. For example, if I am an author and I am talking about love, let's say love, okay? So it doesn't mean that others cannot talk about love. See, earlier when we talked about patent, I've told about product patent is there. So one product is made, some others cannot make the same product when product patent is there. Here that is not the case. Here it is not the content is protected. If I am talking about love, A talk about love, B also can talk about love. But whatever A said, the same expression or language cannot be used by B. He can talk about love in a different way, okay, or he can talk about death in a different way. So any content anybody can use, but the way of expression should be different. So what is protected is the way of expression. The language which is used to express the content is actually what protected, not the content as such, or not the content itself, okay. So I hope you understood. Now when we talk about copyright, there is also one word which you might have seen, copyleft. Copyleft, okay. So what is this? Now this, there is no protection, everybody can use it, okay. No restriction on using this, or you can make whatever modification. So it will be like this, reverse C you will see for copyleft. So copyright you will see like this. So reverse C, this is what you will see in case of copyleft. That means you can use, you can modify, you can do whatever you want. There is no protection for those items which come under here. Now let's go for trademarks. Third one, no? This is third one or fourth one, right? Patents, geographical indicators, copyrights. Now this is the fourth one, trademarks. Okay, what are this? These are basically symbols or designs, etc. Okay, so these are symbols, designs, pictures, or a specific way of writing the name or logo, etc. All these will come here. Pictures or specific way of writing name of a company which is used to distinguish its product from its competitors, which is used to distinguish its product from that competitors. Okay, so I hope this is clear. There is no point in explaining too much. Trademarks, okay, so logo will come under this. It's all about a specific design, okay, so which will distinguish its product from competitors. Then trade secrets. So what is this? It is actually a know-how. You might have gained some knowledge related to something over a past few years, okay, or it might have passed from previous generation. So those technical or trade secrets, that is also protected, okay. So it is a know-how. It is a know-how in the form of aggregation of non-process, in the form of aggregation of non-processes or procedures or accumulation of data, etc. Okay, it is kept undisclosed as a trade secret. So it is just like a way of producing certain item. Okay, it's actually a secret information, right? Tirunelveli halwa, how is it produced? Okay, it's actually a trade secret Okay, Malabar biryani, how is it produced? It's actually a trade secret. It is actually accumulated over a period of time. Okay, that knowledge might have been passed from previous generation. So it is actually considered a secret information. It's a trade secret, and that is also protected. Next is industrial design. Industrial design. So it covers article bearing design, shape, configuration, etc. Okay, so it covers articles bearing design, shape, configuration, etc., and not the article itself. Okay, so it covers article bearing design, shape, configuration, etc., and not the article itself. So 7, layout of an integrated circuit. So it's all about elements like transistors, resistors, capacitors, that layout. Okay, so layout of an integrated circuit. It protects design of integrated circuits which consist of layout of a circuitry elements like transistors, resistors, capacitors, etc., and the connection between them, and that's what you mean by layout, no? The connection between them. Okay, so these are the 7 intellectual property that we want to discuss. So I hope we have done that. So we discussed this patent, we discussed about geographical indicators, we discussed about copyright, trademarks, trade secrets, industrial design, and layout of integrated circuit. Okay, so what is this patent? You will see here, these are legal rights provided to an inventor of an intellectual property for its exclusive use. As I have told you, it is similar to property. You can sell it, you can gift it, you can rent it. Okay, so you can see here the difference between Indian Patent Act and TRIPS norms, and then later Indian Patent Act is actually amended. So Indian Patent Amendment Act 2005, product patent also introduced. Okay, then we have talked about geographical indicators, then we have talked about copyright. Okay, so copyright. So who will get? Authors, artists, musical composition, paintings, sculptures, computer programs, films, etc. Then we have talked about trademarks. Okay, then trade secrets, then industrial design, and layout of an. So that's about the session. I hope you understood everything that we have discussed today. If you have any doubt in any of the videos that we have discussed so far, you can get in touch with me here. That's my Instagram ID. Okay, or you can join the Telegram channel. You will get all my videos over there. Everything is there. Or you can see here, this is a Telegram channel, or this is the Instagram ID. These two are my Facebook page. You can get in touch with me in any of this. If you want to learn economy with me, or history with me, or general studies, any subjects, you can, if you need regular classes, you can get in touch with me, or the online classes are available with StudyIQ. You will get all those classes. Still, you will get my YouTube videos in this Telegram channel. Okay, so I hope you understood everything that we have discussed. So see you guys. Thank you.